Did you know that the Muslim population is expected to increase to 2.2 billion by 2030, making up over 26% of the world's total population? In fact, Islam has been the fastest-growing religion worldwide in the 21st century. But despite these facts, this does not mean that the religion is accepted everywhere.
Doctors, we don't need your engineers. Take them all and pay for them. We don't need them. You know why? Because there's a zero terrorist attacks in Poland.
There are many countries where Muslims are not only unwelcomed but hated by the citizens. These countries all share the same motive, which is to preserve their culture. Join us today as we explore the 6 top countries where Muslims are not welcome. Number 6. India. In India, Muslims face significant challenges and are often marginalized within a predominantly Hindu society. This tension has historical roots, with religious wars and conflicts contributing to deep-seated divisions. The rise of Hindu nationalism has exacerbated this situation, resulting in a series of violent incidents, including riots, discrimination, and legislative measures that disproportionately affect Muslims. Furthermore, data from the National Crime Records Bureau highlights a trend showing that communal riots have been a persistent issue, with Muslims often bearing the brunt of the violence. The current climate in India is clearly saying that the Muslims do not belong in their country. Number 5. China. China's treatment of Muslims, particularly the Uyghur minority in the Xinjiang region, has been widely condemned as human rights abuse. Since 2017, the Chinese government has detained over 1 million Muslims in what they call re-education camps, where reports of torture, forced labor, and attempts to erase Muslim culture have emerged. The Chinese Communist Party views Islam, and religion in general, as a threat to the state's control. This sentiment is also shared in most China's citizens. The government has restricted religious practices, demolished mosques, and imposed mass surveillance on Muslim communities, making China one of the most hostile countries toward its Muslim population. Number 4. Czech Republic. The Czech Republic has seen a surge in nationalist and anti-Islamic sentiments over the past decade, as the number of mosques continues to shrink and is currently at 10. Public opinion is overwhelmingly against Muslim immigration. According to a poll, 70% of Czechs opposed accepting Muslim refugees. Right-wing parties have been particularly vocal, with a former president making anti-Muslim statements, including once saying, "The Muslim Brotherhood wants to gradually control Europe." This kind of common sentiment has cemented the country's position as one of the least welcoming for Muslims in Europe. Number 3. Slovakia. Slovakia has been known for its strong opposition to Muslim immigration. The country refused to accept any Muslim refugees under the European Union's Migrant Redistribution Plan, with officials openly stating they don't want to create a Muslim community. In fact, Slovakia's Islamic population is estimated to be once again less than 0.1%, making it one of the least Muslim-populated countries in Europe. In 2016, the government passed laws that made it nearly impossible for Islam to be officially recognized as a religion. Without this recognition, Muslims are unable to build mosques or receive state funding, which greatly limits their ability to practice their faith. Slovakian citizens take pride in keeping Islam out of their country. Number 2. Hungary. Hungary has built its political platform around anti-immigration and anti-Muslim rhetoric alongside Poland. During the 2015 migrant crisis, the Prime Minister declared that, "We do not want to see a large number of Muslims in our country," depicting Muslims as a threat to Hungary's Christian values. Hungary has one of the lowest Muslim populations in Europe, with Muslims making up less than 0.1% of the population. The government even erected a border fence to prevent migrants, many of whom were Muslim, from entering. Public opinion is similarly aligned, with a poll showing 66% of Hungarians supporting a ban on Muslim immigration. Number 1. Poland. Poland is one of Europe's most homogeneous countries, with over 85% of the population identifying as Catholic. The Muslim population here is tiny, making up less than 0.1%. After the Syrian refugee crisis, Poland's government, led by the right-wing Law and Justice Party, took a hardline stance against Muslim immigration. They argue it threatens Poland's cultural and Christian identity. They also contribute that the country has become the safest country in Europe with no terrorist attacks due to their small Muslim population. Surveys also show that 70% of Poles oppose accepting Muslim refugees. Poland's strict immigration policies, combined with a sharp rise in anti-Muslim amongst its folk, make it clear why Muslims aren't welcome. As we wrap up this list, it's evident that the landscape for Muslims remains hostile in some countries. While the Muslim population continues to grow, several nations have adopted stringent measures against their presence, citing cultural preservation and national identity as key reasons. As the global dialogue on immigration and acceptance evolves, it's hard to tell if these countries will keep their foot down. Only time will tell. Thanks for watching.